All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to set our work offsets. So in the previous video, we set up our tools, and I've got tool number 2 in here, which is my 3/8 flat end mill. Our work offset is going to be, so our reference position is with the blank tool and the probe. Okay, my work offset is going to be the top of here, and so what the machine needs to add up to figure out this vertical position is it needs to add the difference between the blank tool and the probe. Needs to add the length of the tool here as an additional height, and then add this, and then subtract the distance between the probe and here. The probe's right about here. Subtract that distance to have a final value for this. Now the machine automatically compensates for tool lengths. I don't need to do anything extra there. I do need to find this distance here, and that's what we're going to do now. So right now the G54 coordinate is active. Let's go ahead and set the, we'll leave G54 active because actually G54 is what I want to set. So leave G54 active, and we're going to touch the tool off to the surface. So I'm going to go to spindle and set my spindle speed down to about 1500. Okay? Doesn't have to be exact, but about 1500. Close the door, turn the spindle on, and so I've got the spindle running. I'll say done. I'm going to jog with the spindle running, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down until it just touches the top of the block. So we're going to come down, there's a couple different ways to do this. This is the simplest. So I'm just going to keep coming down. So it just touches the top of the block. And I can't use the probe here like I did on the tool setting because the probe needs a conductive surface and this block is not conductive. So what I'm doing now is I've got this set to my times 10 value, and I'm just tiptoeing down. If you get right in front of it here, you can see we've still got a bit of a distance to go. Looking to see where it starts cutting. Okay. All right, so there's our cutting position, and we can move it a little bit and see we are just shaving the surface. That's perfect. So now we'll go over here and we will set, let's turn the spindle off first so we stop warming the spindle. Okay, go to setup, set axis to 0, set Z, and actually we don't want to do that. Okay, so if I did that, I'd change my work CS, and I don't want to change my work CS. What I want to do is I want to go to my coordinate systems. So I don't want to change this number. This number I want to leave alone. I don't want to mess with that. I just want this one to change. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter this value here, the minus 1.4016. So go minus 1.4016 in my G54, and we'll apply that. Okay. Now my coordinate system is set to 0. This is what I wanted. I wanted the top to be 0. Relative is relative to the work system, and then the machine is the absolute distance from the limit switch. So what the machine's done here, what I've got here in my coordinate systems is my G54, G55, and so on. These are going to be the adjustments to my Z height. This is going to be my XY. This is going to be my base position, my base machine position, my base XY position. These are going to be the adjustments to the machine height. So if I'm working with an FMS where I've got a fixed vise where I'm using 1 point as my XY position, I'll set my XY position here, set my reference Z here, which is what we did with the probe and the blank tool, and each of these is going to be the corrected Z. Okay. All right. Let me show you how that's going to work. So next up, I want to set my X and Y. So we already determined we're going to set our X and Y at the back right corner. Okay. Now this vise, it doesn't matter too much, but on some of the other vices, especially the 2-axis vise, there's a particular fixed point. I happen to have a 2-axis vise over here in the other machine. This one does not have an ATC, which is why I didn't use it for the video. But this is a 2-axis vise in one of the possible orientations. So when this vise is active, it'll bring your part up to this corner. This is the fixed corner for this vise. Okay? And so this is where you'd always set your X and Y, at the fixed corner. On this machine, we're going to call flush with the back of the vise our fixed corner. Okay? So this and this are going to be our zero position. So we're going to do the same thing we just did. I'm going to turn on hand wheel jog, turn on the spindle. Won't turn on while the door's open. Turn on the spindle, turn on hand wheel jog. Set Z maximum, come up, over on X, come down a little bit, and then we're going to tiptoe in on X until it starts to cut. Okay, and I've actually got some material coming off there that we just started cutting. That's perfect. We're going to turn off the spindle, set axis to 0. There's our X, and this is what it looks like. The tool is to the right of the block. We're going to use the tool radius, because that's what we've got in there. We'll hit OK. And there's our X position. Now we'll activate handle jog again. We'll actually turn on the spindle, activate handle jog again, bring the tool up, back, over, down, and then we're going to come in from the other side here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you. Come over on Y. And there we are cutting. Stop the spindle. Set axis to 0, Y. That's the position it is with respect to the block. Select OK, and there we are there. Okay, and let me pause this. So that's setting our first work offset. I'm going to put a different block in there so we can have a different work offset just so we can see how this works.